Hey guys, Frank White here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and today I am in southern Alaska at an airstrip known as Dogfish Bay. I am going to do a flight to Nanwalek, which is probably, let's see, let's figure out where Nanwalek is, and let's see. I guess for this we have to do it this way. AK 07, AK 07 is Dogfish Bay, and Nanwalek is, I think it's gonna be PKEB. Nope. Um, I'm not sure. Now we'll look. Well, let's just try KEB. Um, See if that works. Yeah, that works. Okay. So we're gonna do this flight to Nanwalek, and we actually are gonna fly around the bay. Let's see, flying straight is about 7 nautical miles. So my guess is flying around the bay ought to add maybe another 7 nautical miles to the flight. So it ought to be about 15 nautical miles all told. Um, but we're not going to plan it out properly. Okay, so I'm in the Porter, the Pilatus PC Porter from Rwanda. I'm using a custom livery and a custom panel, cockpit panel. So let's get back in the cockpit panel and get this flight underway. All right, so let's get rid of that. And looks like we got a pretty strong wind, and I do believe the wind is gonna be coming. Let's see. Well, first of all, I gotta get some stuff started up. So let's get our get everything shut off. All right, beacon comes on. Beacon is this guy here, and master comes on. Okay. Um, so the winds are perpendicular from me, so it looks like they're coming from 2-4, and I do believe the runways are 2-4 and um, 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Fuel pump, fuel booster comes on. Beacon light is on. So to start this guy, I am gonna start the starter. I see I've got some fuel flow already. Once I start the starter and I get I get above 12 here on my NG, then I'm gonna intro introduce the ignition and some fuel flow. So that's coming up. That's 10, 12. All right, igniters are started, and fuel flow. ITT is coming up, watching for a hot start. It's maxed out and it should start to drop, and it's dropping now. My torque is coming up above 52% on the NG, so I've got a good start. All right, so let's go ahead and turn our alternators. Well, let's go ahead and turn the fuel pump off, starter off, and the ignition. And let's turn our generator on. And I don't have a generator failure light. Man, I love the way this aircraft sounds starting up. All right. These turbine engines, they just seem to whine and whine. Okay, wind is variable. I don't have a weather, I don't have an airport close enough to give me an accurate weather report, so I am having to rely on the windsock. Runway is in front of me and it's moving perpendicular to the aircraft. So if I want to take off into the wind, then I've got to go down here, go to the runway, and turn left. Okay. Let's check our trims. So I do have a trim that I need to adjust, and this guy here needs to get into the green. I'm using the Alpha honeycomb yoke, and on the right trim I am having to move each button independently. When I started off in a previous video, I was moving them both together and that didn't work out too well. So live and learn. Okay, so let's go ahead and introduce our takeoff flaps, 28%, and let's turn our avionics on. Transponder to on for right now, and this is the autopilot. I'm not going to have to worry about that right now. Look and see if there is any, if there's an ADF station or that I can use, and I don't see, nor is there a VOR station. The closest VOR is here at Homer, Beluga. How about that? So once we fly to Nanwalek, then we might decide to continue to Homer, Beluga. But for right now, that's not in the plan. Okay, so let's just turn our map on. Our map the terrain. All right, we should be roughly at sea level. So let's adjust our barometer, altimeter, to show us just a few feet above sea level. So it looks like we got a pretty good low, somewhere around 2895. Okay, and what else do we need to do to get this flight, to get this aircraft in the air safely? Okay, we got our flaps in, and let's go ahead and start our taxi. Seat belts are secured. And no ground elements to speak of. Let's just look at our electrical and fuel. We're okay on fuel. Suction is a little low, but we at low idle, even though it might sound like we're at high idle. I think my suction come up then. Everything's in the green. Perfect. Okay. Go back over here so I can release the brakes. Brakes are released, and we are rolling. Okay. Taxi lights, landing lights are coming on, and we need to lower those lights, otherwise they don't really do us any good. And there's a button here called position, and that's our left light. And get drop the lamp for our right light. Let's peek. Let's go out and take a quick peek, make sure that light actually came down. So we do have that right light down, and it's actually bright enough for us to just get by with one light. But I could lower that. I could lower the light on the other side, but I don't really need to. Okay, so let's get some. I am going to drop a link in the show more notes. So if you want to get this scenery, if you click on show more in the description, then you'll find a link. All right, so let's go ahead and lower this guy to where I like it. And let's readjust our altimeter because we're not below sea level here. And I guess we can turn around. So I am using differential braking. And bring that runway into view. And I'm on runway 24. All right, so let's go ahead and turn on altitude report on my transponder. Let's lock our tail wheel, and let's go to high idle. Let's turn our strobe lights on, and we are ready to go. Dogfish Bay traffic, Porter 633 Papa Whiskey is taking off runway 24, departing to the north. Dogfish. Okay, just in case anybody else is in the pattern there. Looks like I've got some clouds, and it may be fairly low clouds. Okay, so this guy takes off at, I should be airborne by 68 knots. 60, and we're up. Okay, 69 is our climb out speed. So I'm gonna adjust my pitch for that. And about right there. Okay, and I want to turn to the northeast. Okay. And I want to stay over the water if I can. I think I'll turn back the other way and raise my flaps. Yeah. That's wonderful. And because of the clouds, I think I am going to keep it low right here at 1500. got a bunch of wind noise beating. I can hear that noise whipping against the aircraft. It's fairly loud. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just hug this shoreline, and that should take me to my destination. And I'm gonna watch my airspeed and altitude. Okay, I'm at 15, so I can lower that nose. Pull that prop back just a touch. And sorry, it's a good thing that I didn't over torque, because to be honest with you, I was not watching my torque, which is a complete no-no for this aircraft. Got to keep an eye on that torque, because it doesn't take much to over torque that shaft and just break it, which is an extreme costly repair. Okay, so our airport ought to be just around this bend here, and it isn't the best of weather days. And this aircraft flies in slightly a nose down um, attitude. But I'm definitely experiencing some downwinds, some downdrafts, um, and some pretty significant ones at that. Because I could be at 1500, and in a flash, I'm almost at, I lose 1,000 feet. Okay, so let me go ahead and try and get down to 1,000. In fact, I am going to do almost a 360, a 245, and come in so I can bleed off some altitude. So I'm gonna go over the ocean here. And go out here a little bit. Okay. Now, I have never landed at this airport, so I have no idea where it's at or what it looks like. Um, I am, it's not an air, let's see if this airport is, actually I'm gonna fly away from it a little bit. Well, it should be about right up in here. And I do want to move this over so I can keep an eye on my altitude. Don't want to do a belly landing in the ocean here. So Okay, so that airport should be about right up in here somewhere. Um, Watch my airspeed. I'm getting a little slow here. You see my angle of attack here is trying to keep me informed that I was getting in the caution area. Okay. And what I want to do is just see if that airport is in the database. So let's go here. Let's go here. We know we left AK07 and the desk AK07 is not in the database. So let's cancel that. So that's, in order to get a flight path in the G in this, I would need to be able to, let's see, now I'm back up at 1500, but I do see my airport. Okay, so that's a good thing. And let's see, we are coming in at 12, and it looks like the runways are about 24 also. So let's give it some power here. And the plan is to land runway 24. One thing, let's see what I'm going to do. Let me get rid of this guy here. Put the map back. And now, one thing about bush flying is you have to keep in mind that there are old pilots and there are bold pilots, but there are no old bold pilots. So whatever you do, you want to make sure that you got plenty margin of safety. So I want to do a 180 here. I'm at 2,000, so I got plenty of altitude. And it was smart. It was really smart to fly over the field to see what it looked like. So that's what I did. All right. So glumps, lights, gas, lights, mixture doesn't apply. Well, undercarriage mixture props. Okay, so I'm gonna fly left. So I'm at pattern altitude, and Nanwalek traffic, Porter 633 Papa Whiskey is overflying the field for runway 24 for a stop. For left downwind, Porter 633 Papa Whiskey is turning left downwind for runway 24. Okay, now looking at what I'm dealing with, Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey is going around Nanwalek traffic. So, as you can see, that was not going to work. I am going to have if I want, let's see, let me look at this again. I need to look at my field because looks like I may have to come in towards runway 6. Yeah, that looks like that's going to be my best option. Otherwise, it'd be I have to try to come down over that mountain and get down in time to land. Let's try that and let's plan to go around if we need to. And the winds are just atrocious today. I guess you guys can hear those winds. Turning base, runway 24, 6 Papa Whiskey, Nanwalek. Okay, so this is not going to work. I can see that now. I'm not stable enough to even try. Going around runway 24, 6 Papa Whiskey. Those radio calls really don't make sense because I am not identifying where I'm at. In fact, I don't even think I ever tuned my radio to the frequency of 1229. So really nobody was hearing me anyway. 1229, which is why when you're flying VFR in uncontrolled space, you always want to constantly be looking out of the window for traffic. See what I just did? I was making radio calls, but I was not on the frequency, so if anybody had been around, they wouldn't have heard me anyway. The labels that you are seeing are traffic global. Now I'm going to let traffic Porter 633 Papa Whiskey is turning downwind for runway 24 for a stop. Left downwind. Now Nanwalek. Okay. So let's try to get stable here. All right, so now I feel like I've got some control over the aircraft. I really, if I can help it, don't want to come in with a 20-something knot tailwind. Let's look at our winds again, guys. Looks like our weather transfer was turned off. So we just hold off on that for right now. Nanowet traffic, Porter 633 Papa Whiskey, turning base runway 24, turning left base runway 24 for a stop. Nanowet. Nanwalek. Okay. Nanwalek traffic, Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey, turning final runway 24 for a stop. All right, so let's see if we're gonna be stable enough to make this work. Let's go with 4 flaps here. Our weather's deteriorating, and so you can see that windsock. and going around Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey, Nanwalek. Nanwalek. It's hard for me to say that. Okay, I'm going to come in um, with this tailwind. All right, let's look at our torque because we don't want to. Whoa. Can't firewall that guy. And if we'd have held it a little bit longer, we would have towed the shaft right out of this engine. Now with traffic, Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey coming straight in for runway 06 Nanwalek. Okay, so I'm way up here, so let's lead off some altitude. Let's raise our flaps a little, and let's trim. Okay, altitude now. Let's do a 180 and line up here. Like I lost. Okay, there's my airport there. I was almost about to say, looks like I lost it. So what I want to do is come in over this range here, and I want to get down to about 68 degrees. I mean 68 knots. I think 69 is where I should be, but with this tailwind, then 80 should be about right. All right. First notch of flaps. Watch that speed. And bring it in. Don't want to slam into that mountain to my left there. Bring it in. All right. A little high, 4 flaps. And runway looks like it's pretty long. Plunk it down a little bit and get out of the grass. I tell you, I have the hardest time controlling this aircraft once I land. I think let's see, I've got, if you look at my rudder, you know, I'm deflecting as fully as I can, and it just might have been the winds. I'm not sure, but I was not. Anytime I put this guy into the grass, I am not happy, but I have improved because at one point I was doing a lot of ground looping. So at least I'm able to land without ground looping. And when I do my touch and goes with no wind, I'm able to keep it pretty steady. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so we are at Nanwalek, and there are no X-plane objects, no hangars or anything but the strip. So this airfield looks like it can use some love from some of you guys. But but yeah, it was truly a challenge trying to land this guy.